This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to another Fall League Game of the Week special edition. Near the end of the season, we got a big series between the Oakland Athletics and the California Angels in the American League West. And yes, believe it or not, the division is up for grabs with these two squads. Let's go right to the standings. Easiest way to paint the picture for you folks. Here we are out west. Oakland and California. Seattle, Texas is disappointing. Oakland and California. Now, the A's do have a 2.5 game lead. There are 5 games left in our season. Let's look elsewhere first. The White Sox and the Brewers and the Royals and the Twins are out. But anyway, these 3 teams, the White Sox still have to play the Twins. So they can win the division or they can miss the playoffs entirely. Moving up, Ohio ran away with the North. And up top, the Yankees are currently in first. They have to play Baltimore. And the math gets complicated in this. Believe it or not, the Blue Jays have finished their season at 15-15. They can still win the division. It's rather complicated. But anyway. A's are currently a number 2 seed. Angels a wild card. It's going to all change. And interestingly, also, just a reminder, in these best of 5s, the final series of a best of 5, we allow a team to win 4 out of 5 or win all 5 games if it matters, if it determines the division. That is very key. And let me explain some more. So, if it was a best of 5, the Angels' only path would be to rip off 3 straight wins, series over, and they're up by half a game. However, in this theory, they can go 2-1, win the next game, go 3-1, forcing a 5th game and go 4-1, and do the same thing, win the division by half game. Or they could go 3-0 and split the last 2 games. Or they could go 4 straight wins, and that's that. Basically, Oakland just needs to win 2 of the next 5 games. Treat this series like the last 5 games of the baseball season. Games 158, 59, 60, 161, and 162. With the Angels playing a 5-game set with the A's, 2.5 games back. It's the easiest way to figure it out. Again, we play best of 5s all year until the final 7th round of the schedule. I don't do this in the Summer League that you all watch, but I also have a postseason tournament before the playoffs that does something very similar. So that's it in a nutshell, and we'll give you game 1. This is a game 1. I wanted to set the table with this. So we'll give you game 1, then we'll pause the video, and I'll show you what happens in games 2, 3, and 4 and 5 if necessary. Today from Hotel California, Oaktown will send Matt Keogh out there. 1981, 10-6, 341 ERA, and 140 innings. Your California Angels will send recently offseason acquisition Ken Forsch, part of the big Nolan Ryan trade. Ken Forsch, 11-7, 288 ERA, and 153 innings. He is the new ace of the California Angels. Matt Keogh, Ken Forsch from Anaheim. Let's get ready to get ready. And leading off for Oaktown is Ricky Henderson. 57 is a K. Dwayne Murphy, 59. Sky's a center. And Tony Armas, 57 is a K. Bottom of 1. Free agent Gene Richards. Recently a former Padre. 1-5 is a base hit. Double-A stealer. Angels haven't had speed like that since the old Mickey Rivers days of 75. But he is going to take off. And he's in there. Now you got Brian Downing. 49, homer 1, fly ball. The ladder. Bobby Grich, 56, Guy's a center. And Doug DeCince pops a short. Wasted the base runner there. For Oakland, it's Cliff Johnson, 110 single. Wayne Gross, 46, flies a left. Tony Phillips, 1-7 is a walk. 2 on, 1 out. It's Phil Garner, 45, center. And with 2 outs, Keith Drumright, 57, a strikeout. Bottom of 2. Moving right along. We're in game 1 of a long series, I anticipate, folks. So I'm not going to, like a train blowing through a tunnel here, get through this thing. Blackwell, 38 single. A lot of baseball tonight. Dan Ford, 49, a homer and a 1, misses it. Ron Jackson, 46, walks. 2 on, 1 out for Bill Almone, 49, for the 3rd time in the game. It's homer 1, fly ball. Yeah, you got to get once out of 20 times, you'll get the big hit. Rick Peters, 45, grounds a second. By the way, 4-9 for left-handed batters is 1-1-7 single, but the Angels are a team that's very dominant right-handed hitting baseball club. And that's could be problematic against Keogh. In the 3rd, scoreless. Gene Tennis, 1-8, single 1-14. Oh, he misses it by 1. Ricky Henderson, 2-7, bounces to short. Dwayne Murphy, 36, strikes out. Hotel California with a pitcher stool here. Gene Richards, another single, another stolen base attempt, and he is safe again off the zero arm of tennis. Brian Downing, 4-4, short X. Tony Phillips, not a good defensive player at this point of his career. It's a base hit. Runners on the corners. A Bunting Grich still bringing the infield up. 39 is a K. Now with 1 out, we like to bring the infield up. We will again. Fly ball to left B, question mark. Richards is going to run. 17-18, 19-0 arm, and he scores. The Anglers have a run. Tim Blackwell skies the center X, and Dwayne Murphy's a 1-9, and he makes the catch. 1-0. Home team. Tony Armless, 45, center. Cliff Johnson, 4-11, left X. Your left fielder is Brian Downing, a 3-0. But they get the only thing you can get, which is a hit, and it's a double. Tough break for Brian. Wayne Gross, 2-6, is a base hit in a right field. Cliff Johnson holds it 3rd. They bring the infield up for A Bunting, Tony Phillips. 39's a base hit to left field. Gross holds it 2nd. We got a tie game. 1st and 2nd, 1 out for Phil Garner. 4-11. Left X, your left fielder. Brian Downing, that's a 3-0. And Brian Downing is having trouble with the lights in Anaheim. I don't know what it is, but he's given up singles. 2 of them in this inning. And your Oaktown A's have a 2-1 lead. You'd think playing in your own stadium, you wouldn't have such problems defensively, but there you go. We have runners on the corners, 1 out. They're going to bring the infield up. Love to do it with 1 out. Keith Drumright, 59, skies to shallow center field. That will not score a run. And Gene Tennis, 1-6. Let's take a look at the Gene Tennis card. It's a kooky one, folks. Gene Tennis was a Padre in 1980. 17 homers, 316 at-bats, 92 walks, 316 at-bats. Yeah, he hits 222, but what a fun card this is. The double line out the 3rd option on the, yeah. All sorts of crazy kookiness. 1-6, homer 1-7, and when we look up, folks, your division-leading Oakland A's get a huge break. It's a 3-run homer, Gene Tennis. To the dismay of Ken Forsch, as he glances over to left field, realizing he's probably had 4 outs already in this inning, and he's still out there. Down 5-1. Ricky Henderson. 1-5. Homer 1-9. He misses that. And that inning is over. 5-1. Bottom of the fourth. Dan Ford, 1-9. Homer 1-6 is a fly ball. By the way, if Oakland does win the 2 games to win the division, it then just turns into a best-of-5 series at that point. So somebody has to win 3 games. One of these teams will, because those games have to be played so we can figure out the overall seeding in the American League. So Oakland can't win this thing 2-0. Somebody has got to win 3 games. So the scenarios, like we said, the Angels 4-0, 4-1, Oakland 3-0, 3-1, or 3-2. Okay. Now that I've straightened that out for you. Ron Jackson, 1-9 is a base hit. Bill Almone, 68, base hit. Rick Peters, 1-7, the whiff. And back up top to Gene Richards, having a nice day. Being wasted, though. 58, he flies to center. Top of the 5th, Dwayne Murphy, 69, second X. Your second baseman is Bobby Grich, and he makes the play. If you're a fan of the channel, you also understand that the Oakland A's in the Summer League, a league played in a timeline 8 years earlier, during the Charlie Finley era, Dick Williams' Oakland A's won the World Series, beating Cincinnati. Could we theoretically have Oakland win 2 World Series 6 months apart? That's in play. 6 months apart, 8 years apart, with Billy Martin as the manager in the early 1980s. Fun stuff, folks. Tony Armas, 2-3, flies to right. And Cliff Johnson, 66, is a base hit. Wayne Gross, 45, flies to center. It is 5-1 Oakland, bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay, bottom of the 5th. Angels got to get something going here. It'll be very hard to rip off 4 straight wins against this Oakland squad. Plus, if they get swept 3 straight, the Angels may miss the playoffs altogether. They got to fight and scratch and whatnot. Brian Downing, 47, and he strikes out. Not having a nice day. Bobby Grich, 66, bouncer to second. Drum right's a 3E10, but it's going to be a single. Doug DeCinces, 6'10", catcher's X. This is tennis. Gene's a 4E9 catcher. It's pass ball. Runner at second with 2 outs, and it's Tim Blackwell. 1-9, let's take a look at this guy. Tim Blackwell. Probably the only good year of his career. 1980 with the Cubs, a 272 switch hitting catcher with a -2 arm, folks. We got something here. We got something pretty nice here. It's a shame he only did this like once in his whole career. Solid player, solid campaign as a catcher. 1-9, triple 104. It's a base hit, and that will score the run. 5-2. It's Disco Dan Ford. 64, lines to third. Both Keogh and Forsch are in their 1981 cards, and they're both starter 8s. We go to the 6th. 5-2 affair. Tony Phillips, 2-9, third. Phil Garner, 4-10, pops to second. Keith Drumright, 2-8, lines to short. And in an early move for defense, the Oakland team will put Tim Foley at short. Tim Foley, believe it or not, actually was an Angel in 82. Oakland has him here. Basically, Oakland has Phil Garner and Tim Foley, which was the double play combo in Pittsburgh in 1979. But prior to that, Phil Garner was an Oakland A. So you see these are the connections we have, folks. The 6 degrees, the Kevin Bacon kind of stuff here. So Foley goes in for Phillips, much better defensive shortstop, as the A's are making some moves, trying to secure a Game 1 road victory. Bottom of the 6th, Ron Jackson leads off. 56, flies to center. Bill Almone, 2-3, rolls a short. And with 2 outs, Rick Peters, 38, that's a base hit. Back up top to Gene Richards, 2 for 3 with a couple stolen bases today. 1-4, grounds are short. We go to the 7th. Hasn't been Ken Forsch, can't blame him. There's some defensive lapses in there. And Gene Tennis gets a lucky 1-7 fly ball there. So it's a tough day for Forsch. Gene Tennis here, 1-9. This is that crazy column we saw earlier. It's going to be 1-1 fly ball. Now, if you don't hit 222, you probably got a higher chance than 1-1. So, yeah, that's an out. That's what makes this card kind of, at first glance, it looks spectacular. When you look at it under a fine-tooth comb, he's like, ugh, pretty meh of a hitter. Ricky Henderson, 68, single 1-15. Oh, he cannot connect on an 18. And with 2 outs, it's Dwayne Murphy. 2-8, homer 1-4 fly ball. It is a fly ball, 5-2. And Oakland is going to add even more defense this inning. Now they're going to have Boston Celtic legend Danny Ainge play defensively at third base for somebody. Yeah, for Garner. No, for Drumright. Yeah, Garner goes to second base. Okay. Stretch time here in California, the Hotel California. Of course, we are enjoying, from the timeline, the year of 82. We're listening to Fleetwood Mac's Mirage, featuring, of course, Gypsy. And, of course, you've got Hold Me on this one. And then it goes on for 3 hours and 15 minutes if you've got the time, folks, because they're going to do a bunch of old stuff in here, some live stuff, and remastered stuff, and they just keep doing stuff. They do, I tell you what, this band does stuff. They just hit that record button, folks. That's what they do. They play music, and they hit record, and they put it out for you. A bazillion hours of Fleetwood Mac from 5 different decades with 30 different people, blah, 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 yada, yada. Bottom of the 7th, Matt Keogh, 5-2 lead. It'll be Brian Downing leading off. 69, double 1-2, base hit. The leadoff man is on for Bobby Grich. 1-6 is a K. Doug DeCinces, 34, a 6, 4-3, double play. Ouch. We go to the 8th. Tony Armas, 2 7s a K. Cliff Johnson, 1-4. Let's take a look at this guy. Cliff Johnson was a Toronto Blue Jay in 1983, but he did play with Oakland in the 80s. Forget which years. But this magnificent card is a 265 card with 22 dingers, 400 at-bats, 67 walks. No longer could catch. Not that he ever could, though he did put shin guards on. 1-4, homer 1-14, and the Oakland A's get an insurance run here in the 8th. It's 6-2. Wayne Gross, 38, pops to second, and with 2 outs, it's it's Tim Foley. 210, grounds to short. 6-2 game. Bottom of the 8th. Keogh's breaking inning. It's Tim Blackwell. He has an RBI today. 1-7 is a K. Disco Dan Ford, 36 is a base hit. Ron Jackson, 57, skies to right. And with 2 outs, it's Bill Almone, 55, short X. This is Foley, a 3-12 shortstop, and he throws the ball over first baseman's head into the dugout for a 2-base error. So we got runners at second and third. Your defensive replacement is anything but. We got number 9 hitter, Rick Peters. 2-5 is a ground ball to second base. We'll go to the 9th, and we'll pull Forsch. He gave you 8. We'll go to Juan Agosto in the 9th. He was a Chi Sox in 83. 2-2, 4.10 ERA in 42 innings for the White Sox. Juan Agosto comes on in the 9th. He will face Phil Garner. 49 is a base hit. Now you got Danny Ainge. Pretty awful. He's going to drop a bunt down. He's a good bunter, and that's a good bunt. Runner at second, 1 out. You got Tennis. 1-9 against a lefty, single 1 to 13. He connects. Runners on the corners. Infield comes up for A bunting, Ricky Henderson. 49, base hit, dot, and you know what? Juan Agosto, ladies and gentlemen. You saw the card? He's a relief one. He's toast. And the Boo Birds come out. So he, 3 out of 4 batters reach, which means he hit his point of weakness. Thanks there, Juan. Nice job. Now 7-2 game, and there is the white towel. The fight doctor's throwing this one in, throwing the towel in the ring. We're going to go Paul Mitchell, see if we can get 2 more outs in the 9th inning. 5-5, 3.54 ERA, 89 innings for your 1980 Milwaukee Brewers. Paul Mitchell trying to complete this game. 7-2. My goodness. Dwayne Murphy steps into the box. We have 2 on with 1 out. Dwayne Murphy, 110. Single 1 of 15. They get it. They get every hit. They got the home run. They've gotten all the hit chances. Bases loaded, 1 out. Tony Armas. 44. Homer, 1 of 15 for the Grand Salami. And there it is. Tony Armas, a 4-bagger. 4 RBIs. 1, 2, 3. 4 RBIs. We got 11-2, and they are piling into the parking lot here in Anaheim. Cliff Johnson skies the center, and Wayne Gross, 210, flies right. And you know what, folks? In an 11-2 game, old Billy Martin's going to go to his bullpen. That's right. He's not going to let the guy get a complete game. He doesn't want to wear their arms out. Matt Keogh pitched 14-inning games several times in 1980, as did Rick Langford, as did Mike Norris, I believe. But we're going to be kinder to these gentlemen. We're going to let Dave Beard finish the game for Oakland. Dave in 1982 was 10-9 with a 3.44 ERA in 92 innings for your Oakland A's. In the 9th, Beard will face the top of the lineup, Gene Richards. 1/7 single. He just scoots on down to second base without a throw. Brian Downing, 59, second X. This is Garner's a 3-17, but it's a single. And that scores a run. It's 11-3. Bobby Grich, 56, is a K. Doug DeCinces, 2-7, single 1-2. Cannot get it. And the final batter, Blackwell, maybe, 68, single 1-12. Gets it on a 12. 2 on, 2 outs for Disco Dan Ford, and they're making my night go long with a double. Oh, we're getting a garbage time run output here. 11-4, 2 on. Ron Jackson, 67, single 1-6, and he gets the 6, and we're still going, folks. 11-5, Bill Almon, fronters on the corners, 35, double 1-12 is a single. 11-6 with 2 outs, still going at it, folks, with Rick Peters, 410. Center X, he's a 1-9 in center field. Can you squeeze it? Yes. They hold on to an 11-2 lead and win 11-6. Congratulations, Oakland. Now, this, folks, this is why Billy Martin leaned on those starting pitchers. Because stuff like this is happening. 11-2 game. Keogh wanted to finish, but yeah. So that's it for today, game 1. Oakland wins 11-6. Keogh gets the victory. Forsch gets the loss. We'll give you the results of games 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 if necessary. So stay tuned. All right, baseball fans, here is the box score of game 1 you just saw. Oakland's beat down on the Angels, 11-6 final. Keogh, 8 innings, 11 hits, 2 runs, only 1's earned. California, it kind of screwed the pooch on this one. 6 runs, 17 hits, 18 base runners. Oakland only had 14 base runners, and they got handled 11-6. So Oakland needs just one more win to win the American League West. Let's see what happens in Anaheim in Game 2. It's going to be Steve McCatty for the A's, Mike Witt for the Angels. Early in this one, a walk and error by Bobby Grich, and then a 2-run double by Wayne Gross, 2-zip Oaktown. The Angels get a 2-run dinger by Dan Ford, and then in the next inning, a 2-run dinger by Bobby Grich, take a 4-2 lead. In the 4th inning, they get the dreaded error. That's not the error. It's when a designated hitter rolls a 6-12. It means the opposing pitcher is injured. So that knocks Steve McCatty, the ace of Oakland, out after 4 innings. Very unusual result because, as we know, Oakland loves to go long with their starters. Okay, it's 4-2. In the 5th inning, though, number 9 hitter Gene Tennis, 2-run homer. It's 4-4. Oakland will have to go to Jamie Easterly in the bullpen. He surrenders the tie with an RBI double by DeCinces, 5-4. But then in the top of the next inning, off of Mike Witt, it's Cliff Johnson's solo homer, and we're tied again, 5-5. In the 7th inning, Mike Witt is still in there. Tim Foley had 3 home runs and 500 plate appearances in 1982, and he just got one. That gave him a 6-5 lead. Then Gene Tennis, another home run. That's 4 home runs in 3 frames for Oakland. They take a 7-5 lead. This thing gets interesting. Easterly goes just the 2 innings. Jeff Jones comes in, gets out of the 7th. But in the 8th, a single, a walk. It is bases loaded, nobody out. Bob Lacey comes in, the 3rd Oakland reliever. It is a sac fly by Bill Almon. 1st and 2nd, he reloads the bases with a walk, but he gets Don Baylor and Brian Downing out to end the inning, minimizing the damage to a run. A scoreless 9th with just 1 base runner for the Angels. And Bob Lacey gets the 2-inning save, 2 innings, a hit, and a walk. And the Oakland bullpen, much maligned, did enough to give the A's another win, a comeback road win, and also clinch the American League West for the Oakland A's. And moreover, after winning the first 2 on the road, the A's go home. If they win Game 3 at home, a couple things happen. 1, they clinch the top seed in the American League. 2, the California Angels' season is over. So there's still a whole lot more to play for. Game 3. California at Oakland. They're going nuts in Oakland. They want to bury the Angels. Bottom of the 1st. Gene Tennis, 2-run homer. But in the top of the 2nd, solo homer Don Baylor. Bottom of the 2nd, you have a 2-base error on Dan Ford. It's 3-1. But it all comes apart for Oakland starter Tom Underwood. In the 4th inning, you get a double, a hit, a walk, a fielder's choice, infield up because of Gene Richards' speed. He hit a ball through the infield, a Downing single, and a 3-run homer by Bobby Grich. They knock Underwood out in the 5th inning. 5 innings, 11 hits, 9 runs allowed. John Curtis for California, after struggling early, settled down nicely, went 8 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. The final score, California wins 11-4 to stay alive. And Oakland has to wait to see if they can get the number 1 seed. They're going to need another win. Or they'll still get home field, but they won't be the number 1 seed. California is still playing for their playoff lives. They need a win or 2. Let's go to Game 4. Again, the home team has not won anything. Well-pitched Game 4. Rick Waits for the Angels. Rick Langford, complete game artist for Oakland. Let me just give you Rick Langford. 9 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and a complete game. That is a typical Rick Langford line from 1980 when he had 25 or more. I think he had 28 actually complete games. But the Oakland A's offense has gone stone cold. After clinching the division in games 1 and 2, the A's wanted to get into a groove going to the playoffs, and they've gone into a slump. Rick Waits, 3-hit shutout through 8 innings. Oakland makes it interesting in the 9th. A hit, an out, a walk, an out, a hit. That breaks Waits. One more out to get. Mark Clear comes in, gives up a single. A walk, bases loaded, 2 outs in a 3-2 game. He strikes out Dwayne Murphy to end it. And the Angels, they've won game 4. The road team has won every game, and the Angels still have a pulse for a playoff spot, and Oakland has squandered the number 1 seed. We go back to California for game 5. Steve McCatty, back on 3 days rest, only threw 4 innings last time. Ken Forsch, hard luck loser in game 1. Scoreless into the 5th. When we get a Don Baylor 2-run homer. Then in the 7th inning, Oakland rallies. Walk single. Ground out moves the runners up, and it's a Keith Drumright 2-run single. It's a 2-2 tie. Then in the 8th inning, runners on the corners, infield up. Tim Foley, pinch hit squeeze, rolls a single on the pinch hit squeeze. That was after an RBI single by Cliff Johnson, made it 3-2. So the squeeze made it 4-2. This time Oakland elects to avoid the bullpen drama, and Steve McCatty collects a complete game after Langford collected a complete game loss in yesterday's game. McCatty, 9 innings, 9 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 7 Ks. Oakland actually wins all the games in California. California wins all the games in Oakland. Oakland wins a series 3-2. So what's it all mean, folks? What's it all mean? What's it all mean? 3-2. The A's started this series 2.5 in front. They're now 3.5 in front. The A's 18-9, and they have clinched second behind Ohio 19-9. That's right, folks. We've got an expansion team in the American League, the Ohio Players, with the number 1 seed in the Fall League. Oakland gets the number 2, and then after that, it is murky. It is murky to say the least. In the American League, the Yankees still play the Orioles. There's a scenario where all 3 teams can win this division. If the Orioles beat the Yankees 4 straight, the Orioles win the division. If the Yankees win just 1 game, Toronto wins the division. If the Yankees win 2 games, the Yankees win the division. There's no wild card there. Cleveland has the slimmest chance possible of getting the 2nd wild card spot. That only happens if the White Sox, who have to play the Twins, have to lose 3 straight to the Twins. If that were to happen, the White Sox are toast. Brewers get the division, and then you have the Angels at a wild card 2 over, and the Indians at a wild card 2 over. Is there a scenario where the Angels get knocked out, you're wondering? Well, Royals are done. Royals season ended at 15-14, which means the Angels have knocked the Royals out. Brewers are in. White Sox will probably be in, which leaves only the Angels and Indians at 2 over, fighting for the final wild card spot. Baltimore and the Yankees can't get it. And so it comes down to a tiebreaker between the Angels and the Indians. We can look and see that they did not meet in the regular season. Here is the schedule. So Cleveland's common opponent would be the Yankees. California would be Kansas City. There's no commonality at all. No common opponent, no division, no way of breaking the tie other than winning percentage. And at that point, California is at 536, the Indians at 531. Or I'll toss a coin. Or I'll play Rochambeau. But it doesn't matter, folks. If it comes down to that, I don't know if I'll play a... Yeah. Why play a one-game tiebreaker when the wild card is only 1 game, right? But yeah. So, yeah. The Indians have a chance to get in as the second wild card, or it's the Angels and the White Sox getting in. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 teams fighting for 6 spots in the American League. It's crazy. It's wacky. But it can't be any wackier than the Oaktown A's taking care of the California Angels, winning this series 3-2, 5 road wins combined by the squads. Thanks for checking out the Fall League. We'll see you next time.